Email marketing may seem like a complex channel to master for e-com and CPG brands that it may cause them to push it down the road and not really do anything about it. However, every day you delay properly setting it up, it's causing your brand to miss out on what could potentially be 40% of additional sales that you guys are missing out on. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the 3 basic but most important steps in setting up your email channel properly. My name is Alex from IX Media. We help CPG and e-com brands scale their business from using email marketing. Proofs in the pudding. You can check out the website, all the links in the description, all that's there. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about when setting up your email channel properly is your pop-up form. Now, all you got to know about a pop-up form, it's a little form that you make on your ESP. Now, just to give you some context, ESP stands for Email Service Provider. All that means it's the medium in which you're sending emails out to. You know, a few different examples out there like Klaviyo, that's an ESP, MailChimp, that's an ESP. It's just the platform that you actually send your emails out on. So whenever I refer to ESP, just know that it stands for Email Service Provider. So again, like as I mentioned, you're setting up your pop-up form, you could do it on your ESP. Right, and again, it's like a little design that you make. It's a pop-up form that appears on your website. Now, you link it through your ESP to your website. Everything's, you know, it's free. It doesn't cost anything to do. And again, it's an offer. It's a deal that people get whenever they see like the little pop-up form. And in return, all they ask for is an email address. So, you know, look at any of the you could even do it after you watch this video, but you could even look at, you know, Olipop, Gymshark, Liquid Death. Any one of those big brands, 7 to 12 seconds after you start browsing their website, maybe you click on a few different tabs, you're going to get hit with a pop-up form. And it may say like 20% off, get free shipping in your first order. I know, you know, there's some brands that have like free sample packs that you could get if you set up your email address. But again, in order to get that code, that coupon, whatever that is, you have to submit your email address. Now, the reason you set up pop-up forms is obviously to get the email address, but primarily it's the main way you grow your email subscriber list. Pop-up forms are legitimately one of the biggest ROI things you could do for your business, and the reason I say that is because some of the companies I audit, they may have like amazing flow set up. They may have like their flow set up properly. They may have like 8 to 12 emails in their welcome flow. They may be consistently sending out campaigns, but their pop-up forms are like 3%, 4%, and it's like really bad. And the reason why that makes such a big difference is if you get your pop-up form to go from anywhere to 3-4%. Imagine if it's at 3% and you get it up to 12, you get four times as many people getting your emails and receiving your emails. That's 4xing, most likely, that's 4xing your entire email marketing revenue just by changing one thing, which is your pop-up form. So again, pop-up forms are crucial in order to get it up. As far as like, numbers and try to get numbers that you could shoot for, I would say anywhere, especially if it's an e-commerce CPG brand, anywhere from like 9 to 12%. That's really solid in for most cases. Again, it varies through industry, but for most CPG and e-com brands is 9 to 12%. If you have it anywhere below like 3-4%, something's like really messed up with it. Just to give you some quick tips as setting your pop-up form, going more into the technical side. One of the first things is have it appear 7 to 12 seconds after somebody shows up in your website. The reason you don't want to have your pop-up form show up immediately is because it just ruins the customer experience, right? Like imagine just going to your website and the first thing you see is that pop-up form. You haven't seen the product, you haven't seen the reviews, the testimonials, anything. And at the end of the day, it's just like a really bad customer experience. So I would say like one of the first things to keep in mind, 7 to 12 seconds after somebody opens a website, you could put it in. Another thing is testing your offers, but make the offers good, right? Just to give you a few examples I've seen brands do is like free shipping, as I mentioned, 20% off, so a discount off, $1 off. Some people do like free sample tests. Like if they have like a really high margin item, they may just send it out for free if they get their email address. Sometimes it's like a buy 2 get 1 free. There's a bunch of being entered into a raffle. There's a bunch of different things you could test out. But again, I highly suggest number one to really increase your pop-up forms like conversion rate is testing out a bunch of different offers, but having those offers like really solid. Because at the end of the day, like it's worth just breaking even. If you're breaking even, but you're making a sale on the first time, like, okay, sure, maybe you're breaking even, maybe you're not being profitable, at least you're having more people subscribe to your email list. Because if 100 people, let's just say we shoot for like a 10% conversion rate in your pop-up form, if 100 people get the pop-up form, 10 of them submit their information, 1 of them actually purchases on the first order or places an order for the first time, you're still going to have 9 additional people that you could send emails out to that may purchase on your second email or your third email or your fourth email. And all you need to send them is like some more informational stuff about your brand, some more edutainment content, valuetainment content. And at the end of the day, like that's really all that matters. But like, as far as pop-up forms, just keep in mind, just try to make it, really basic, test really good offers out. And one last thing I will say about pop-up forms is make it really basic, as I just said. Less than 10 words max. It should be like super basic. Like literally, if it's a 20% off or do you want 20% off? Enter your information here. Like super short. Don't ask for birthdays. Don't ask because birthdays are like, it's literally just for like one flow that people could get like once a year, literally. So don't even ask for that. Like it's gonna kill people. Not gonna kill people. It's gonna kill your conversion rate. But again, just make it super basic, easy to read, really understandable, and you should be set up with your pop-up form. So that's the first thing I want to talk about when setting up your email channel properly. The second thing is campaigns. Listen, all campaigns are a series of targeted emails sent out to your subscribers, right? Just to give you some context, you can make these email designs either on your ESP, as I mentioned earlier, or you could do it on a platform like Canva or like Figma or one of these design platforms. I highly suggest doing any of your emails off of Canva or off of Klaviyo or whatever your ESP is. Do it on like Figma or Canva, one of these platforms that are meant for designing, because most of your emails, the email templates that they give you on like Klaviyo, for example, they're like super basic and they're not really that good. But anyways, aside from that, again, campaigns are just a series of targeted emails that you could send out to your subscribers. If most of the time, if you're sending it out to your like 60-day engaged list, 90-day engaged list, you're going to be sending out emails every other day, maybe every other 2 days, depending on your brand. And it's just emails that you send out, either promotion, and this is what I'll say. I think one thing that a lot of brands get wrong is sending out like a lot of sales and promotion-based emails, when in reality, if you send out really valuable pieces of content, VT and ET, you're going to crush your email campaigns in the best way possible. VT stands for valuetainment, ET stands for edutainment, and it's stuff like, if you have like our car brand, right, and you make like tinted windows or whatever that is, you could say like, 3 things to consider before you tint your windows. Or if you have like maybe like a chocolate brand, you could say 3 things you didn't know about the chocolate industry, right? Things like that are very, like, people actually want to open your emails from and actually get and digest that content. It's really important for you to have successful campaigns on. But again, just have stuff like that content that people actually want to read, and you'll have a good, really solid campaign for them. So again, that's what campaigns are. As far as the purpose goes, it's really to drive engagement, right? Obviously make conversions and make sales. But more importantly, that's really slept on, is building your brand loyalty. Like, especially if you really go all in your tone, your colors, your wording, your styles of your brand, and you go all in it in your email designs, you're going to crush it, because people are going to differentiate yourself or you guys from your competitors. So that's really one big important thing. But of course, to make sales conversions, that's like where you make 50% of your email revenue campaigns. And again, just some typical numbers. You want to shoot anywhere from like 30 to 60% open rates. 60 is like getting up there; it's pretty high. 30 is like, it's average. It's not really that good. We typically shoot anywhere above like 40%, maybe 45, depending on the brand, on how well your email list is. But again, just some numbers to keep in mind: 30 to 60% open rates. Click-through rates now click-through rates are a little bit broader, because this literally depends on your entire brand. I would say on the low end, try to go like 0.5%. Right? And if you have just like really solid, engaged lists, and you have like some crazy email designs like we do, then you probably go to like 4 to 5%, click-through rates, and then obviously you have conversion rate, but that depends on the website. But yeah, those are some quick things you need to know about campaigns. As far as tips go, segment your audience for more personalized content, right, and better engagement. So like, let's just say that, if you're gonna send an email out to people that have that suits people best that have bought before. So maybe it's like a subscription-based email. So you send out an email campaign that's like, hey, listen, we're launching this new thing called subscription-based email, or a subscription-based program. You might only send those emails out to people that have already bought from you like 2, 3, 4 times, because obviously it's a very, very low chance that people that have never bought from you before or heard your name from Adam are going to buy from you, or are going to buy subscription basis. So that's one thing: segment your list properly, or segment your campaigns properly. Again, as I mentioned earlier, before design off of Klaviyo, do it on like Canva, Figma, Adobe, one of those platforms that you could really shine and put a lot of your effort into your designs. Designs are really important, especially when you're saying graphic emails. So you have text-based emails, graphic emails. Especially for graphic emails, you want to do it on an actual designing platform. But yeah, another thing really big important is A/B testing a lot of different things. Your subject lines, your CTAs, your content, your send times, a bunch of different things you could A/B test to figure out like what works best for you guys is super important for especially campaigns, because you're getting your reps out on such a big list compared to flows that may only send out a few. Overall, your entire flows may send out to like the same amount of people your campaigns are sending to, maybe a little less, but it's not as many in like one shot, because a campaign is only one email that could be sent out to your entire list against flows, which I'll talk about in a second. But test out a bunch of different things. Even like another big thing is offers, right? If if you have a graphic-based email and it looks the same, like if you make 2 versions, they look exactly the same, but one of them is like the offer is like buy two get one free instead of maybe 20% off, and they both at the end of the day are going to have better margins. Test that out. Offers are going to make a big difference. And then last thing I will say, besides VT and ET, valuetainment and edutainment content, super important, that stuff that people actually want to read, is synthesize. Now this is super important, and I've been mentioning more in my last couple of videos, but synthesizing your results, the results that you actually get, is super important. And I won't yap on too much about this, but just to put in perspective, like if you send out 100 emails, and every time you send in your emails, you try to make it a little better, you're gonna get a lot of success, right? Because you're gonna be like, okay, this email worked, this email worked, this email worked. But if you look at those 100 emails and say, okay, what were the top 20 best performing emails? And you literally devour those emails, see what was good about them, see what the commonalities were, see what the traits were of those emails, and do the exact same thing for the worst performing emails. Over time, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, a year's time, you're gonna crush your competition because you're synthesizing the results to get the best effort out on your next emails based on the results you get now. So one thing I will say about campaigns is synthesizing, see what works, see what doesn't work, and just literally see why that is. So that's as far as campaigns go. The next thing I want to talk about are flows. Now, just to put in perspective, I keep saying that, but I didn't mention this too much. You have 50% of your email revenue. Around 50%, I see like a little bit more bump in campaigns and flows, but 60-40, 50-50 goes to your campaigns and your flows. Those are the only two ways you can make money with email marketing. So as I mentioned, campaigns typically, people say 50-50. I personally seen like 60-40. Campaigns typically make a little bit more than flows do, but they're still quite good. Don't worry about it's anywhere around that range. But with flows, just to give you perspective, I'll stop saying that, I promise. It's an automated sequence of emails triggered by specific actions or time intervals. So I'll give you an example. Like let's just say, going back to the pop-up form, right? You submit your email address in that pop-up form, you submit your email address, and you actually get the email for the first time. The first email you're going to get before I send out any campaigns, any flows, well, I guess this flow, but aside from anything, is your welcome flow. And the reason is because that welcome flow or welcome series, however you want to say it, is the first thing that people want to see when they're actually getting influenced to buy, right? It's going to have your 20%, for example, discount code. It's going to have your offer, but then it also educates the person on the value of the company, on the product, on the people behind it. And then throughout that flow, another big thing, this is the big thing about flows, it's not like a campaign where it's like a one-time thing. Flows are a set of emails that get sent out to people based on a certain behavior or action they take. So a campaign, it's like a one-time email that you send out to, maybe your entire list, maybe a part of your list. Against flows, it's like it's going to be sent out not based on a certain list or a certain segment. It's going to be based on action somebody's done. So welcome series, the trigger that's going to trigger that campaign to go out, that flow to go out, to get that person in that flow, is submitting their pop-up form, for example. If you have an abandoned cart flow, it may be somebody adding obviously a product to their cart. If you have a post-purchase flow, it may be like as soon as somebody purchases a product, they get entered into that flow. But as I mentioned, again, flows are just a set of emails that get sent out to people based on a particular behavior or action they have done. Now again, through time, it's really important to build your relationships, because at the end of the day, like, although campaigns are like that evergreen thing that every time you send a campaign out, you could brand your emails properly. But if you have things such as like an anniversary flow or a VIP flow or a birthday flow where people like get those type of emails that shows you care about them, even though it's automated. But if you have those flows that say like, okay, happy birthday, we want to give you 20% off, don't think we forgot about you. If you have that email of like, hey, listen, we know that you bought from us in the past 3-4 times in the past. We want to show your appreciation. This is like, a free little item we want to give you, or this is a big code we want to give you as a token of appreciation. If you have a what's another good flow, to give an example? A sunset flow, right? If you know that people aren't engaged with your list at all, and like a sunset flow is like a flow that gets sent out to people that have like barely open your emails. If you send out a sunset flow, it might show people like, okay, this brand actually knows that I'm barely responding to their emails. Might as well give them a shot. Maybe check out their emails. At least you get them to open your emails again. And again, it's really important to build your relationships, and also encourages conversions, obviously, over time. Your welcome flow, your welcome series, and I would say for us personally, abandoned cart flows probably do anything with abandon. So you have abandoned cart, abandoned checkout, and abandoned browse. Those are the three main abandoned flows. But abandoned type flows and your welcome series are by far like the most profitable ones that you have, your flows, because like they just get sent out to the most people, and they have most of the time they have a discount, or people have shown big intent, like an abandoned checkout flow. People have already went to checkout, maybe they just forgot, or their mom called them or something, so they just forget. that being entered into that flow is a little reminder to them. But again, obviously you want to make sure that they have conversions. You make conversions on it. At the end of the day, it's just a really solid place to really build your email list, as far as like nurturing the current subscribers you have now, as well as just sending out emails constantly. And the biggest thing about flows is that, as I mentioned, since they get triggered automatically, key point automatically, when somebody has a certain behavior or action they've done, you don't have to worry about like, okay, man, I have to send this flow out today, or I have to send this email today or tomorrow. All those emails are sent out based on time delays that you have within that flow, but it's based on an action somebody's done. So you literally don't have to do anything aside from setting it up properly for those emails to get sent out. As I'm speaking right now, I'm guaranteeing you we probably already made a few sales with all the brands that we've worked with, and like that's the point. We didn't have to literally send out any campaigns in order to get those sales. We just have that flow set up where people could actually buy and get those emails sent to them. So flows are really, really important, and that is the third main thing as far as most important things for your email channel. Anyways, guys, I'm back in the studio. Hope you enjoyed that video, and that is exactly what I personally think are the three most important things, really the only three things that matter, at least most important three things that matter with your email marketing channel. So hope you enjoy the video. Again, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or anything like that, just feel free to reach out to me. Link is in the description. I'm getting better at saying that. But yeah, just check out the description, ixmedia.biz, if you want to search it up on your own, or just check out my actual profile. You can see all our info there. If you are a CPG or an ecom brand that wants to scale their business using email marketing on a 100% commission base, reach out to us. As I mentioned, again, all that stuff's down in the description. You go check it out. But anyways, listen, hope God blesses you in every way possible. And listen, stay closer to God and make your business up, get your pockets up. And yeah, Alexander Jimenez out. Peace.